friends. This is another episode of Empire of Lies, where we discuss manipulation and disinformation in Russian media. We need your fear, how Russian television stopped hiding the essence of war. In recent weeks, Kremlin propaganda has passed a new point of no return. Whereas Russian talk shows once mimicked discussion, they have now turned into open political manifestos, stating their goal quite bluntly: to intimidate Europe and legitimize all-out war against Ukraine. Vladimir Solovyov's program on October 9th became the epitome of this new doctrine. There's no longer even an attempt to maintain a defensive tone, only the language of threats, humiliation, and fear. 1. Transforming war into a natural state. The program opens with mockery of Zelenskyy and Macron, but behind the buffoonery lies a clear message. Russia refuses to perceive what is happening as a conflict between two countries. War is declared the natural order of things, and not only Ukraine, but Europe as a whole is identified as the enemy. He's convinced we won't do anything against him. He's gone mad. He said Trump didn't refuse tomahawks, didn't refuse nuclear weapons. The rhetoric is built on two layers. The first is mockery, designed to dehumanize the enemy and make them an object of contempt. The second is a threat, delivered with feigned calm. Ukraine must be destroyed. And it will be destroyed. This is not an emotional outburst, but a direct statement of the purpose of the war, not a special operation, but the complete destruction of Ukrainian statehood. 2. Fear as the new currency. At the climax, Solovyov utters a phrase that has become the quintessential Russian political language of 2025. We don't need your love. We need your fear, your animal terror. This moment should be viewed not as television propaganda, but as a public articulation of state strategy. Moscow no longer seeks to persuade, it seeks to paralyze. In international relations, this means a shift from dialogue to blackmail. The greater the fear, the weaker the will to resist. In the Soviet tradition, threats were always hidden behind ideology, the struggle for peace. Now the ideological mask has been dropped. War is presented as a form of national rebirth. Russia liberates itself through the destruction of others. And if Europe thinks this is television rhetoric, it's worth remembering that in the Putin system, television is a political committee. 3. We will kill a new frankness. Next, Deputy Speaker of the State Duma Pyotr Tolstoy takes the floor. He calmly tells a French journalist, "We will kill French soldiers or NATO soldiers if they come to Ukraine. We will kill them with missiles, artillery, and any means necessary. What's important here isn't the content itself. It coincides with military practice, but the form." The politician utters the word kill without euphemism, without diplomatic reservations. In doing so, Russia de facto breaks the old international taboo of not publicly threatening the lives of citizens of NATO member states. Tolstoy goes on to say that Russia has the right to destroy military factories operating in the interests of Ukraine anywhere on any continent. This isn't propaganda, but rather a blurring of the boundaries of war, preparing the audience for the idea that strikes on targets in Europe could be legitimate self-defense. And it will be destroyed. And Europe can change its mind, and the next European, American, or other idiot repeating Kellogg's narratives will talk. But we are not going to listen to Putin. We will do it ourselves, so you don't need to listen to him. You simply cannot understand. We don't care whether you have an ear. We care very little about your emotions. We know you are enemies, and you must have no illusions. You will be destroyed. That's simply clear and plain. And you don't need to not listen to us, not love us, not giggle. I'll tell you again, we don't need your love. We need your fear, your primal terror. And it will come to this. It will definitely come to this. 4. Europe as an enemy and a debtor. The second part of the program is devoted to the West, and And here Russia finally removes the mask of the aggrieved outcast. Europe is described as a morally corrupt pair that frolics like a child and robs Russian money. All the Europeans said, of course we'll give everything to Kyiv, but let's take it from the Russians first. The topic of confiscated Russian assets and financial aid to Ukraine is presented as proof that Europe lives on Russian money. Viewers are convinced that if the Ukrainian army is holding up, it's only because Europeans are stealing. Thus, the image of a collective enemy is being created in the public consciousness, where Europe becomes not an ally of Ukraine, but an accomplice in the attack on Russia. You've been on the Empire of Lies program. See you soon.